Hello everyone, today we will see a case study in scientific inquiry, right? A case study in scientific inquiry. In last lecture, I told you what scientific inquiry is. Here, there was a case study done on coat coloration of mouse populations living in different areas, but the species was same. See, so what was investigated? Coat coloration. Investigating coat color. In coat coloration in mouse populations, right? See, this is a mouse. I have already told you its name earlier, Peromyscus polionotus. The same species, both are same species. Here you can see up and down. This upper one lives on the Florida seashore, right? It lives on the beach, and you can see its coloration is almost similar as the background. Understood? So this one is living in Florida seashore. This is beach mouse, and this is also same species but living on land. This is inland mouse. This one is inland mouse. Same species, Peromyscus polionotus. So you can see the coat coloration is different. So why this coat coloration is? For this, camouflage hypothesis was given in 1920s by a naturalist, Francis Bertoldi Sumner. Francis Bertoldi Sumner. So what he said, what hypothesis he gave? That coloration pattern had evolved as an adaptation that camouflage the mice in their native environment and protect them from predators. Simply the mouse will match its background, that is camouflage will be done, and this will help in protection from predators. Clear? So the hypothesis is, if I write, coloration patterns of mice had evolved as adaptations that camouflage the mice in their native environments, protecting them from predators, protecting them from their predators and predation done by the predators. Okay, so who were the natural predators of these mice? Hawks, owl, these are birds, right? Then foxes, coyotes, these were the natural predators. Okay, now this camouflage hypothesis was obvious, but it needed to be tested. You know that scientists form and test hypothesis. So who tested this hypothesis? In 2010, Hopi Hoekstra and her colleagues. She was a woman and she tested the hypothesis with her colleagues. They went to the Florida seashore also and the nearby inland area also, and what they did, they took mice models and spray painted them with spray, and they painted them in both these colors, light and dark, like this, both colors they painted, and they kept the models in on the seashore also and on the inland area also. The next day morning, what they noticed, that the non-camouflaged models, they were attacked more. Many of them were missing. Maybe the hawk or owl took them, right? Many were having bite marks. For example, foxes try to bite, right? So many, anyways, they could not eat that because that was model, not the real mice. So they spray painted the models, kept them in both the places, and then they saw that the non-camouflage mice in both the places, dark mice on the seashore were attacked more, and the light mouse on the land were attacked more. And this confirmed the hypothesis that camouflage has evolved, right, as an adaptation to protect the animal from predators. Their color has evolved as an adaptation to protect themselves from predators. And hypothesis was correct, right? And this experiment, so if you make graph like this, suppose one side you make percentage of attacked models. Now suppose this was in beach, and this one, so on beach, light model will be attacked more or less, and dark color models will be attacked more. Opposite will be on the inland. Light color models were attacked more and dark color were attacked less on the inland habitat. Beach habitat and inland habitat. Okay. Now here there was an experimental group and there was a control group. Suppose if I say experimental, so the non-camouflaged models were the experimental group and control group was camouflaged models. So what is this experimental and control groups? If I say control group is the experimental group is the one which we are going to study. What we have to prove, that will come under experimental. What they needed to prove, that non-camouflaged models will be attacked more. This experiment they had to test, so this was experimental group, and the other will be control group. Simple. Now if I say in any experiment there are variables and controls. Now variables can be independent and dependent. Now what is independent variable? The factor that is being manipulated by the researchers. So factor being manipulated, for example here the coat coloration. Here for example coat color. So the color of mouse model, the model of mice, that color was being manipulated. They checked that if they keep the non-camouflaged models more, then that will be attacked more. If they keep both the models, then which one will be attacked more, like that. Suppose they kept camouflage and non-camouflaged model, the non-camouflaged was attacked more. So they were controlling the color of the model. So this was manipulated, and what was affected was amount of predation. Here amount of predation that was dependent on the color of the model. Dark color models will be attacked more amount of in beach habitat, and light color models will be attacked more in inland habitat. So the amount of predation dependent on the color. Yeah. So what is dependent variable? Dependent variable is the factor being measured, the one that we are measuring, and that is to be predicted, that is predicted to be affected by the independent variable. Independent variable. Here coat color was independent variable. So it affected the amount of predation, that was dependent variable. Okay. Okay, this mouse model was this camouflage hypothesis testing, that was a controlled experiment. The scientists controlled, what they controlled? They controlled the unwanted variables. Like suppose the predation of the mice can be more, maybe because of more frequent attacks, right? Because of different numbers of predators or different temperatures. So there can be different reasons for attack, more attack on the non-camouflage model. But here we have to prove one thing, that the color was the thing that was responsible for more attack. So we have to test only color, and other things, other possibilities we remove. So we control that. We don't want the unwanted variables. So we control unwanted variables, but we cannot eliminate them from environment. Simply we are testing that we have to see that color code. So we are making control groups. For example, camouflage group was taken control group. So we are making control group, and we are not going to test the effect of other variables, for example number of predators and all. So simply we are eliminating them, not in reality from the environment. We cannot eliminate the number of predators and all things from environment. Simply in our test we are eliminating, and in our test we are controlling the things. Okay. Now I'll tell you something that is theory. See, theory is a speculation. Normally we say, but in science it is not just speculation. Okay, and theory is different from hypothesis also. If I say what is hypothesis, you give me an example. I give you an example of camouflage hypothesis. I have told you in earlier lectures what hypothesis is, right? Now if see, you know that hypothesis is logical explanation for any natural phenomenon. For example, this was logical that the non-camouflaged mice will be attacked more than the camouflaged one, simply because it's easy to spot them by the predators, right? So this was simple explanation for more predation of non-camouflaged ones, because they cannot hide in the surroundings. Now, but a theory is a very big term. It can spin off many hypotheses. See, coat coloration, that was an adaptation, right? And that was an example of evolution by natural selection. If I give example of a theory, evolutionary adaptations arise by natural selection, right? Now it has many more examples, not just camouflage hypothesis. If we say, for this camouflage hypothesis is just an example. camouflage hypothesis is just an example. These are just examples. If I say another hypothesis in which Galapagos finches, this is also hypothesis. These two in Galapagos finches, over time their beaks evolved in response to the type of available food, right? So that was also an adaptation by natural selection. Nature selected the beak that could eat the food that was present there. Okay, so that is also an example. And camouflage hypothesis was that the nature selected the color of the mice that was able to adapt to save itself from the predators. So both are both are hypotheses, but both are examples of evolutionary adaptations that arise by natural selection. Simply theory of natural selection. We say this is theory of natural selection. Who gave? Darwin. Okay, so both are examples. So the theory is general, right? I told you it is general. It is general enough to spin off many new testable hypotheses. Clear? For example, the theory of natural selection we know that explains camouflage hypothesis also, and this theory is general. That theory of natural selection is general, that evolution organisms adapt themselves according to the nature, and the one that are best suited to the environment, they are selected and they breed more and produce their offsprings. Then the one they are selected by the nature, that will breed more, right? And who will be selected? Who can easily adapt to the environment. Okay, so this theory of natural selection was there, and that motivated the researchers to go and check that Galapagos finches their beaks evolved in response to the type of available food. This hypothesis, right? Okay, like that. The theory is supported by lot of evidences. That is, theory of natural selection is there, that is supported by many evidences, not just this mice. Wherever you see the organism that can survive in its nature, in its surroundings, that will be selected by the nature, right? Many examples are there. Okay, then a theory can finally be modified or even rejected by the scientific community. Theory can even be modified or even rejected with time. For example, if I say biologists earlier clumped the Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. They said archaea and bacteria, that in same group, right? In same kingdom, prokaryote. What happened? Archaea and bacteria were in same kingdom prokaryote, right? So now they are not in the same kingdom. So the theory of both of them being in the same kingdom has been rejected, because now we have reached to molecular level and we know the differences between them. So they are in different domains now. Earlier in same kingdom, now in different domains. Okay, so the theory has been rejected for them in the same being in the same kingdom. Now different theories came. So with time, theories may be rejected, they may be modified. Okay, thank you, bye bye.